Hi everyone, my name is Jenny Schneider and I am the new Environmental Coordinator for the Town of Secaucus. While I did not grow up here like Captain Bill and Amanda, I am so excited to be part of this incredible community now and to work for such a supportive mayor and council who truly believe in and support a sustainable present and future that benefits all residents. So although I'm new to town, I was lucky enough to have the invaluable mentorship of Captain Bill Sheehan, who you met in part 1, and the entire Hackensack Riverkeeper staff. I've always been passionate about environmentalism, but with Riverkeeper, I learned firsthand how important it is to protect, preserve, and restore the Hackensack River, which includes our home here in Secaucus. This past year, I joined Riverkeeper through the AmeriCorps NJ Watershed Ambassador Program, which is a New Jersey Department of Environmental Protection program that was started 20 years ago. In this role, I was able to learn firsthand through the NJDEP and Riverkeeper how state initiatives could and should be successfully implemented on a community level. So it's safe to say that this is a dream job for me. I am honored and grateful to be able to continue the incredible initiatives that Amanda started. Secaucus has proven that sustainable initiatives and programs make our community stronger, healthier, and more beautiful. As just one example, our community garden program that Amanda talked about has been so successful that we actually have a lot of residents on a wait list waiting to have their own plot to garden in. So we're actively working on trying to continue expanding this program so that more residents have access to their own plot and can benefit from community gardening. At several of our community gardens, we also have compost bins that gardeners can utilize. I would love to start a municipal composting program where we can view food waste as a valuable resource that can become soil through composting instead of viewed as garbage, which fills up our landfills, increases methane emissions, and costs a lot for the town to send. Stay tuned for a Facebook Live event that we'll be having for Secaucus residents to learn more about composting with the New Jersey Composting Council. And speaking of organics recycling, the future of our curbside recycling program, which is currently dual stream, relies on Secaucus not just recycling, but recycling correctly. We can't wish cycle and just hope that if we put something in our recycling bins, that it will be recycled. Just like every other municipality in the country, the material recovery facility that we send our recycling to can only accept very specific items in a clean and dry condition. Otherwise, if we send the wrong items or the right items covered in food, for example, we risk everything being sent to the landfill and having fines come back to the town, which we really need to avoid. So we're going to be launching a Recycle Right campaign, which will include curbside inspections and feedback to help residents come in compliance with our curbside recycling program. And as always, I encourage everyone to download the Recycle Coach app and to visit our website to learn more. There's a lot of confusion when it comes to recycling, and it's really important. So I encourage all residents to reach out to the environmental department so that we can help and answer any of your questions. If you weren't aware, the environmental department has a really cool number that should be easy to remember. It's 20186 green, and the green stands for 47336. So again, that's 20186 green, and I encourage you to call me with any and all questions about recycling and environmental initiatives in general. I also highly encourage you to check out the library's YouTube page and find Amanda's video on recycling do's and don'ts. It's really helpful and has a great overview of the recycling process and why it's so important to learn what items can and cannot be recycled. While Secaucus has made so much progress in terms of sustainability, as always with everything, there's room for growth. So I want to continue all of the programs that Amanda and the environmental department started and continue to build on them with new programs. So there's so much I could talk about. I could go on forever about all of the goals that I want to accomplish with the environmental department for Secaucus. But for now, I want to prioritize talking about a resilient future. It is vital that we continue to do everything we can to slow climate change and reduce our carbon footprint. But we also need to start preparing for the effects of climate change that are already, in some cases, happening here in Secaucus. For example, when it comes to flooding, the NJDEP released in June their scientific report on climate change, which confirms that flooding is going to worsen in New Jersey. I do not say this to scare anyone, but to reiterate how seriously I plan to take stormwater management. We need to give our community and our environment a fighting chance by slowing the rate that we're funneling stormwater directly from our properties into our waterways. Green infrastructure has been proven to enhance flood resilience because it enables groundwater recharge. It allows various pollutants that may mix with rain and run directly off properties to be captured. So, green infrastructure is truly a win-win because it not only helps mitigate flooding, but also protects our water quality. It would even continue to beautify Secaucus further because many types of green infrastructure include vegetation, such as rain gardens. We actually have our first rain garden here at Mill Creek Point Park, and I promise that it will not be the last. It will take everyone, public and private, with both large and small projects, to have green infrastructure throughout town that will really make an impact when it comes to flood resilience and also reducing non-point source water pollution. This can be anywhere from rain gardens to porous pavement to downspout planters to rain barrels. And I know I'm mentioning a lot, but I promise there will be more education on green infrastructure and you will see firsthand some projects, hopefully in the coming months and years, that will really implement green infrastructure as a municipality. And then I will also be able to guide how to implement these on your own properties, whether you're residential property, commercial property, and really just green infrastructure can be implemented everywhere, and it should be, because there's just so many benefits to it that I think are perfect for Secaucus and should be a model throughout the state. And of course, the best green infrastructure out there is still our trees and wetlands. It is so important to protect these natural areas, not just for their beauty and enjoyment, but for flood resilience and our air quality and everything in between. So if you ever have any questions on why that tree on your yard or our street trees are so important, please reach out and we'll continue to have more educational programs. But I promise that it is a major goal to plant more trees in Secaucus every year as we have and to protect our wetlands. Our wetlands serve as a natural buffer or sponge when it comes to storms, and we really need to protect them, especially when we're thinking about sea level rise. In all, our community's environmental future is going to be about minimizing our environmental impact whenever possible, especially when it comes to minimizing our waste and our emissions. It's also going to be focused on resiliency, not just in terms of flooding, but also energy resiliency and more. These goals will ensure that Secaucus is a great place to live for future generations. I encourage you to visit our town website and to please reach out with questions and input for our sustainable and resilient future, because we are in this together as a community. Thank you.